Let's say that we have a bunch of models that need to be updated to satisfy a corporate requirement. For example, all of the descriptions must be capitalized. Let's do that using Excel, Nitro-CELL, and Power Query to show just how easy this is to do. So we're going to write a generic automation that will scan the working directory for any parts or assemblies, load them into Creo, and then perform that update using Power Query. So we're going to start off by first erasing memory, because all good automations start off with a clean slate. And let's also go ahead and create a table. And that table, if I type correctly, that table is going to be where we have our list of files. So I'm going to call this file list. And I want to write that to wow tab. Okay. So now let's go get the list of files. And we have a table option for that. And I want to start off by getting the PRT files, and we'll write those to the file list. And then we'll also grab all the ASM files and do that. So if I run this, you'll notice that just that quickly, it's created our table and populated it with the content that is in the current working directory. And also you'll notice that there's nothing in session. So the script is working fine. Next thing we want to do here is we're going to actually open all of those files. And there's actually a table model option for this. And to do that, we're just going to simply do a TBL : file list to open those in session. So if we run this, you'll notice that now if I go and take a look at session, I've got all my models in session now. Now let's go off and get the description parameters for all those models. So we're going to do a table create because we need to write this to a table. Param list is going to be the name of the table that we're going to be writing to. And we're going to write it to the wow tab. So Nitro-CELL will automatically create that. Next thing we want to do is get the parameters from each of the models. And we can actually do that using this table as an input. And we want DSC as the description, the parameter that we want to get, and we want to write that to our parameter list. So when we run this, you'll notice that it's created our new table and populated it with all of the parameters and values that were found in the models that are there. And as you can see, some of them have values and some of them do not. Now to transform this into all uppercase, we're actually going to use Power Query for this. This is actually a pretty straightforward thing to do. So I'm going to go to Data. I'm going to go to From Table and Range, making sure that I'm selected within that table that I'm starting with here. And here is the queried connection to that data table. So I'm going to give it a new name, and we'll call this New. And then we're just going to come in and do, for the parameter value, we're going to do a transform to uppercase. Then we're going to do a close and load to, and we're going to load that data to this worksheet and just drop the values there. So there's our new table, and you can see there's 18 rows of content. And if I scroll over here, you can see that this is the data as it's written from Creo. This is the data as it's transformed, and this is also the data we want to read back in. So if I select into this and take a look at the table design, you can see the table names up here. So we're going to reference that. And the next operation we're going to need to do is to ensure that the Excel table is computed correctly. So we're going to do a refresh all in Excel. That just forces that calculation to occur. And then the final operation that we're going to do is to set the parameter data for that table that is being generated here. So, oh, and we would like to, of course, regenerate this just in case there's any relations. Let's see, regenerate. And we'll use that same table reference for that too. So if we've modified the file, we want it to regenerate. So when I press the Do It button now, you'll notice that when this process is completed, you can see that this is the information that's been loaded and gathered. This is the information as it is. And if I go and open up any of these models that are in session right now, like front plate, and go up and take a look at the parameters, and we do in fact have uppercased parameters in this. If we go to, let's say, the speaker assembly that's in here, let's go turn on columns for that, include description. You can see that they are all uppercase now. So that's basically how you do it with Nitro-CELL and Excel tables, and also using Power Query. Hope you find this useful and inspiring.